Hello viewers, you are welcome to another edition of the Big League Soccer. Of course, I'm your regular host, and with me I have my panel of analysts. From my right, I have Boye Amosun. Boye, you are welcome.
Thank you.
And the sitting far right, I have Julius Ojagbasi.
It's a pleasure being here again.
Of course, for an Arsenal fan, for a Liverpool fan, for a Man City fan, Monday must be a very, very bright morning. Why? Because those three teams strengthened their title claims by winning. Incidentally, all of them won away from home. And you can safely say in England now that the top four, or the teams that will eventually finish in the top four, have sort of segregated themselves from the other teams that will be fighting for Europa. Also in Spain, it was Go Gallo, Barca went Goal Gaga. And Real Madrid maintained 4 points over Barcelona ahead of El Clasico. I'm expecting a mouth-watering El Clasico this weekend. And we're also going to talk about the Champions League, which second leg of matches resume again this midweek. First, we have Chelsea hosting Chelsea hosting Galatasaray, of course. Didier Drogba, Wesley Sneijder, all of them coming to Stamford Bridge against their former boss. And we also have David Moyes, Manchester United. David Moyes, beleaguered Manchester United, hosting Olympiacos. Those are some of the games we want to take a look at on Big League Soccer today. Julius, as an Arsenal fan, this must be a very bright Monday morning for you.
To be honest, it was you are right on that. It's a very bright Monday morning because we got an important win over the weekend. Once I thought Arsenal was going to go his way. When I mean his way, that keep attacking even when we had the goal. But I was, surprised he went the way of defending. And
if I must remind you, you won the first half of the season, same scoreline, 1-0, and it was the performance that made me start tipping Arsenal as possible title challengers. Why? Because it was a gritty victory. It was unlike Arsenal. It was not an open game. You scored in the first half and you defended the goal. That goal was by Giroud, and you went on to win. The same form or performance was replicated on Sunday.
That's exactly what I meant by it. I was surprised when he went defending after we got the goal. And I saw a desperate Arsenal for once. Desperate to actually claim that 3 points over the weekend, which was...
And boy, honestly, Arsenal should have won by a wider margin. I mean, you look at Oxlade-Chamberlain, you look at, yes, Tottenham had a glaring chance, a couple of them, but on the whole, will you say Arsenal actually deserved to win?
I think if you look at Arsene Wenger on the bench yesterday, you will say the man was so confident of achieving victory yesterday. Okay. Because at the point when I was watching the game, I was like, Tottenham are playing into their hands. I saw a Tottenham side that was lobbing the ball into the box. And when you have central defenders and Kusheni at their best, they just play into their hands. And looking at Wenger yesterday, he was in a relaxed mood. And I told myself, I can't see these guys getting into this game.
Now, coupled with the fact that Chelsea lost a day earlier, will you say the result, Arsenal away to Tottenham, the Arsenal's victory, will you say it has brought them back into the title contention?
Sure.
Great. But it wasn't a great weekend for Chelsea.
Yeah.
You being a Chelsea fan especially, I mean, what went wrong against Aston Villa?
I think
really went wrong?
Yeah. I think the first problem was starting Fernando Torres.
Okay.
Because if you look at Torres in that game, he was not in the game.
Right.
There was no creativity in the attack.
I will just hold on. Julius, between Torres and Giroud, who is a better striker? Who do you want in your team?
That's unfair.
Just answer. Yeah, who do you want in your team between Torres and Giroud?
Well, I prefer Torres.
Okay, great. Well, you can continue. So your striker is not that bad after all.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably because he was just coming back from injury.
Right.
And Prior to that game, I was a bit jittery because of what Mourinho said about 2 weeks ago, that Eto'o doesn't do too well on the road. That all his goals for Chelsea in the league this season has come at home. So I was like, when I read that Torres was fit ahead of the game, I was like, will he play Torres ahead of Eto'o? And when the lineup came up, there was no Eto'o on the bench. So I lost hope. Okay. Immediately I saw that Eto'o was not in the game at all. Okay. So when the game started, I think Hazard, Oscar and Co, they were not really in the game too. Okay. But on the few chances Torres had in the game, he couldn't bury them.
Now, this is a question I need to ask you. Because yes, you said Eto'o, or Mourinho said Eto'o didn't score goals away from home.
On the road.
Okay? Yeah. But would that be a reason, enough reason not to even put him on the bench? I ask you. Would that, or is he thinking of the visit of Galatasaray in the Champions League?
To me,
even at that, would that be enough not to put Eto'o, your best striker this season, on the bench if you are not going to start him?
That was a bad judgment on his side.
Great.
Because in football, you concentrate on the game at hand first.
Which probably explains why people are saying you were lucky to have defeated Tottenham 4-0, because remember, he was going to start Torres in that match too.
Yeah.
And Eto'o would have been on the bench.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we saying the special one is losing some tricks?
No, he's human. You can expect coaches, top coaches around the world to make mistakes once in a while. Great. Nobody is infallible. Only God is infallible. Great. So you expect them to make mistakes once in a while.
Now, I ask you, and I want you to tell me what you feel. Ramirez's second yellow card and Williams' second yellow card. Any one of them debatable?
I think the winner yellow card
was harsh.
Yeah, because
why?
It was already on a yellow, and I don't think it, as in the tackle.
Was it a foul?
It was a foul, but for somebody that was on a yellow, you would have probably given the benefit of doubt.
Julius, is there a rule that mandates referee to officiate with a human face? You know, to see a punishable offense and ignore it simply because probably it could lead to your expulsion?
I don't know of such rule. I don't.
Great, because viewers, we need to be dispassionate. Yes, it might look a small foul, but it was a foul, and it was a cynical foul, because Fabian Delph was running at goal and he was at high speed. He just needed a little contact to upend him, and that's exactly what happened. If Willian had not been yellow carded before, you agree that was going to be a yellow card. Because what people are saying is that it was a small foul and all that. No, it's nothing like that. It was a foul that merited a yellow card and should have been, given. Whether it was the second one or the first one, for me, is really not. It's really down to the referee. The referee made a call, and that was it. Mourinho made a statement. He said from the beginning of the match to 94th minute, that ref Chris Foy was against Chelsea. Do you agree?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Julius,
I don't think so.
You're going to say something?
Yeah, I just want to, a little bit to the game, because I saw that game against Aston Villa. And one of the things I really saw on that game was that the Aston Villa team were fired up.
Yeah.
And they were fired up from the blast of the whistle. They went after Chelsea.
Right.
Now, if you remember the first leg at
Stamford Bridge,
it ended in a draw.
No, Chelsea won.
Okay. Chelsea won.
It was a close game.
It was a close game. I remember after they won a game against Arsenal, they came and they were
yes. So midweek, it was supposed to be a weekend because of Chelsea's involvement in
the Super Cup.
Bayern. Yeah,
exactly. I think gradually the Aston Villa team are coming back to the form they had when they started the season. And that's why you saw what happened on Saturday. But on the officiating, on the officiating, you have said something, and I agree totally. There is nothing like the referee, using a human face, to judge.
Yeah. The rule says it's
oftentimes, some referee don't want the game to keep going. They don't want to disrupt the game.
The tempo of the game.
Yes.
The flow.
Okay. They don't. But not all of them. But if that was a foul, absolutely a foul, second yellow, it has to be sent off.
Great. And you mustn't feel comfortable the fact that Ramirez and Willian are not going to play in the big derby against Arsenal. That must, as a Chelsea fan, that must be cause you some discomfort.
It's really going to be a very big task. Okay. Because if you look at our bench for now, Salah is not there. Since he came from Basel, he's not there. The only person you can look up to for now is Andre Scholler. Okay. And he's someone you can't really bank on. You play well today, the next game he won't perform. So he's not a consistent performer.
Maybe because he's not been playing consistently.
That could be a factor.
I don't think so. Because if you are playing for a top club like Chelsea, Man United, Barcelona, you know you have to be up there week in, week out. Okay. So you can't. You need to be consistent. People like Hazard, they've been consistent. Someone like when Willian joined Chelsea, he wasn't playing regularly, but he proved to more.
Played in
that was why Mourinho was able to say, "Okay, matter, stay on the bench." Yeah. So as a Chelsea fan,
you are not looking for.
I'm not looking forward to it. It's like I don't want Saturday to come because I'm really jittery.
As an Arsenal fan, you must want Saturday to come.
Well, but I would define it like that. Just like they are issue, Arsenal equally have injury worries.
Yes.
Yes. So
any new one?
Well, not new one, but common. The key ones. The players that matter. Most of our players, we have to manage them. We don't have a strong Arsenal team to go. But I don't see an Arsenal going.
Julius, as it is today, will you want to play against Chelsea with Ramirez and Willian or not?
To be honest, I want to play a good Chelsea side if I have a good Arsenal side.
Arsenal, because they didn't have any injury in their last game, so we expect that the team is intact as at now. But Chelsea already lost two players. Two key players.
And we have a game tomorrow. I can't say.
Sorry, they still have Mikel on the bench.
If Mikel has been so good, wouldn't he be playing regularly for Arsenal?
You can't consider Mikel's quality.
Sorry, 12 men cannot play. 15 cannot play. Some fellows have to be on the bench.
Anyway,
it doesn't mean they are bad. I am saying against a Chelsea and Arsenal. I have seen a Chelsea that came to Emirates and came without those players. They had Arsenal. We didn't win. So I don't really give Arsenal edge on that game.
Well, I know
with history, we have not always have it easy with Chelsea.
Sure, because it's a derby. Exactly. But I know a lot of Arsenal fans out there will be happy that those two guys, especially, these are about Chelsea's paciest players. Ramirez is like a 4 horsepower human being.
You can't compare Ramirez
to box. And Willian, the kind of pace. So you have eventually taken away Chelsea's pace coming to the Emirates. A lot of Arsenal fans out there, I'm sure you will be happy. Just like
David Luiz is out at the moment.
Is out, but they also have other injury issues.
A lot of.
Now, perhaps a lot of you might not remember this. Mourinho's history at Villa Park is not always good. He has never won there anyway. First spell, second spell. He's never. If you remember, even his first spell ended after a 2-0 defeat to Aston Villa at Villa Park. So maybe he had it coming, because that kind of a game I would have expected him to start at 2, putting everything you had and break the dock like maybe Liverpool has been doing this season. Yes, where it's a ground where you've not won for 5 years, you go there, you win, and all that. Now we come back to the second big game of the weekend in England, talking about Liverpool away to Manchester United. Did you expect that result, Julius?
To be honest, I did expect the result.
3-0.
I expect a win for Liverpool.
Okay.
Goal scored. I can't. Okay,
fine. Let's quickly go straight to the controversial issues in the match. The penalties. Do you debate any of the penalties?
No, it was. Okay, fine. The first one was a clear one.
Right. And should Rafa have been sent out?
Obviously, that's the.
The second penalty. Do you remember the second penalty?
Yeah.
Allen was badged by Jones. Was it a clear-cut penalty? Sure. I have to ask you again. If there were 10 penalties in a match, should referee call the 10 penalties?
If it is 10 plus, the referee should call the 10 plus. That's the rule.
Great. Because, again, the third penalty that was controversial, that was given but controversially, affected what should have been the fourth penalty when Carrick kicked Sturridge in the box. Boye, for you, was that a penalty?
It was a penalty, but referees at times, they consider the antecedents of the player.
Right.
The guy dived
awarded the third one.
Yeah. So probably the referee felt, okay, since you dare to
win one penalty,
then let me just overlook this.
But isn't that a case of 2 errors now? Trying to correct
it. It is a case of 2 errors. The first, the third penalty shouldn't stand. I think the story should have been given right. Right. But fine, like we said, they are human beings, and that is why he now have to commit another error by not giving them the rightful penalty again. So maybe it cancelled each. I mean, that cancelled it.
And then also, Rooney barged into Skettle, and a lot of people were saying that should have been a penalty. In my opinion, it was the attacking player who ran into the defender. Boye, is that the way you saw it?
Well, maybe let me just say the referee was merciful on my Manchester United yesterday, because it could have been worse than that.
It could have been worse.
That incident, right. I can remember, that's not an offense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The referee didn't call it there. A lot of Man U fans were saying they had a penalty.
No, it is. I mean, come on now. We have the privilege of the replay. We saw that Rooney was actually flying as a
at Skettle.
So and that one, it fell on him. So how do you give that as a foul?
But will you have given the one that the handball, Glenn Johnson's handball, will you have given that as a penalty?
If the third official, because at that moment the center referee can't call that.
It was far away a little bit.
It actually was. I mean, even the player, it wasn't as if he undid.
No. Yes. He didn't raise his hand.
Yes. No. He didn't undo the ball.
Right.
Okay, his hand was there. The ball was going out. The ball actually hit him. He was shocked. The ball
exactly.
So, well, it would be unfair to give that as a penalty.
Great. So, viewers, the views of the panel of analysts here is that the penalties that were awarded against Manchester United yesterday were correct, except the third one. But there was a fourth one that we agreed should have been awarded that was not awarded. Overall, gentlemen, do you say the better team won?
Absolutely, no doubt about that.
Sure. Then we go to the third big match in England. That was the Man City against Hull City. I mean, away. It was a ground where City had never won a league match for over 50 years. And they started so poorly with Kompany. Let's start with Kompany. I mean, Julius, you are as an ex-player, how do you describe such defending? Actually, by the captain, the leader of that team?
Actually, when I saw that incident, when it happened, I told myself, perhaps maybe Kompany sold the game, because he was trying to give that game to Hull City by that incident. Because I looked at it, it was 14 minutes. The guy could be true on goal. There is no.
Even 10 minutes.
There is no possibility we score that the goal, and you can as well keep track of him and make it uncomfortable for him to settle.
The thing is, he only had possession. He was not under pressure. He could have passed to anybody, keeper, any of his co-defenders, and whatever. He chose.
That is why I said perhaps maybe Kompany has an arrangement to give that point.
That was very unfair.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just. But because that action shows as a leader, you are like telling your team, you know what, let's just give this game and then come home. But I think the City side, you have to give it to.
They showed character.
Yes, they
tremendous character.
Yes, they build up from there. They didn't let that deter them. They actually took the game to the Hull City. At the point, I was asking question. Are you sure? I think City should be playing with 10 men. They do better because they actually gave the
Incidental, interesting facts for you viewers. 3 times now Kompany has been sent off for City, expelled, red carded, and 3 times they won. Each time David Silva scored for City, they have always gone on to win. I mean, the onus favored them.
That was a goal. That goal was,
and that was a brilliant goal.
That was a great strike. He took that ball from 25 yards from post, and that ball went.
Now, the kind of character shown by City was what Chelsea couldn't replicate a couple of hours later. Will you say the kind of confidence City would derive from this, will you say it could propel them to eventually win the league?
Absolutely, because they were under pressure.
They needed to win that match.
Yes,
they started badly by losing their captain.
Now, what that game will now do to that side is that their confidence will go higher because they even play with 10 men.
Right.
And they got that 3 points. So that it will say something to the player. we can.
I don't envy Fulham because Fulham are their next opponents at Etihad.
Well, so that will propel them to really perform because the pressure has been lifted because they need to win the first game.
Right.
Yes, to take away that pressure. And for getting the point the way they did, will have tripled their confidence going to the game.
Great. And some issues were raised by Mourinho, which I just want us to seriously look at. He raised the issue of English football allowing Friday night football, especially for teams playing in the Champions League. And to be honest with you, I agree. Because if, for example, Chelsea had played on a Friday, they would have had a day more than Galatasaray that are coming. And take, for example, City, who played on a Wednesday. They now played early kickoff on a Saturday. That means practically they had no time to rest. So Mourinho said the English football should introduce Friday night football, just like the Germans, like the Italians. Julius, what's your opinion?
Well, I know the fixtures in England.
This season is gone. There is saying in future.
Yes, it's always. I mean, we have said over time that there is need for players to
recuperate
before going to games.
Yeah.
It's a fact. I want to agree with Mourinho that there should be a little bit. I mean, tinkering with the fixtures whereby teams will get good rest before they go to. I think I want to agree with him.
Even Boye, even if you are not doing Friday night football, Chelsea who didn't have anything midweek, you allow them to play Saturday evening, night kickoff, and then City who just played on a Wednesday away from home, you said they should start lunchtime kickoff on a Saturday. Couldn't they have swapped the two fixtures?
Joe, I think just like you said.
Excuse me, please, because do you think this is actually affecting the performance of the English clubs in the Champions League? Because I mean, it's like the FA is not just helping their teams.
You are right. Just like their Turkish opponents, they played their game on Friday.
You can imagine.
If you have a team that is playing on Tuesday, they played on Saturday, early kickoff again on Tuesday, then you have to play Arsenal again on Saturday.
I mean,
it's going to be pretty
it's cumbersome.
Cumbersome on the players. So that definitely might affect their time.
So this is something we feel here, this panel feel the FA should seriously look into. Viewers, I mean, in Spain they do it, in Italy they do it, in Turkey they do it. Why can't England also embrace playing Friday night football, especially considering their teams who are in the Champions League? I think it's going to help them, especially as their teams are struggling in the Champions League now. For 2-3 seasons now, English clubs have not even made it to the semi-finals.
And I think the commercial aspect of it is part of the issue.
But that is just one game. That is just one game. And talking about the stadium being fully packed, you know, in England, if you play any day of the 7 days.
Just like Mourinho complained last week, the Tottenham game was supposed to have been played on a Sunday.
Right.
Before it was shifted forward to Saturday.
And
it was like, since this probably because Tottenham were playing on Thursday.
Yes, they played the Europa League.
They should have considered Chelsea too.
Well, it's not. This issue is not actually not about Chelsea. It's about the English teams, especially now that they are struggling in Europe. Because if Chelsea don't qualify, we may not have an English team in the quarterfinals of Europa League or the Champions League.
And the fact that we don't even have winter break in England.
So it makes it mandatory, you know, or more sensible to play on a Friday. We'll go straight to the Champions League. And yes, Chelsea welcome Galatasaray. Boye.
I think it's going to be...
Is it done and dusted?
It's going to be a massive night. I don't think it's done and dusted yet.
So tell me, which players from the opponents, from the Galatasaray, that you actually think can hurt Chelsea?
Let me say my joy is that Philip Melo will not be playing the game.
Okay.
Because he got a yellow card in the first leg,
so,
which definitely rules him out of
the Tuesday clash.
But I think it's going to be a massive game. It's a wonderful night for the Chelsea guys. Now we know that, for me, the league is out of our hands.
Really?
For now.
You're still leading the league by 4 points.
For me,
Chelsea lead the league by 4 points, and the Chelsea fan is saying it's out of their hands.
I'm not in Mourinho. I'm being realistic here. If you have a City side, with the way City played against All City on Saturday, and the performance I saw from Liverpool yesterday, is out of it. Now we have to concentrate on the Champions League.
And you think you can win the Champions League?
Sure, with a bit of luck, we can do it. With a bit of luck,
okay.
We can do
but
it.
You need more than luck to win the league. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, more than luck to win the league.
So
the Liverpool team I saw yesterday, I don't think we can beat them at Anfield. It's going to be pretty difficult.
Well, for everybody who intends to win the EPL, it's like you have to win your remaining matches of the season. And I don't know how many teams can manage that. We'll leave EPL. We're still talking about the Champions League. You mentioned Philip Melo. Which other player in the Galatasaray rank that you think could actually, damage Chelsea?
I think we should be wary of Schneider.
Right.
Drogba is coming back to Stamford Bridge, and he will be desperate to make a point.
Sure.
I'm still the Drogba you used to know. So it's going to be a pretty difficult game for Chelsea. Then Schneider too. He was not really happy. I saw him complain to some of his guys in the first leg.
Yeah.
They were not giving him enough of the balls. He was not seeing enough.
It's the playmaker bit. It's like
so,
didn't have much.
Schneider and Drogba.
Okay. You are not looking at Eboué, the former Arsenal guy, Emmanuel Eboué.
He's spent force.
And then Julius, talking about Man United hosting Olympiacos. Hey, Moyes, some people say if Moyes fails to qualify United for the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and if they should lose to Manchester City midweek after that, that the man should be fired. So it's a big game for Moyes.
Well, to be honest, with the performance I saw yesterday of the Man United, I don't see them progressing.
Wow, United fans, mark the face.
I don't see them progressing. But having said that, we have to look the fact that they were disappointed over the weekend, and perhaps they want to borrow from the
Arsenal mentality.
When they are beating the next game, they are all fired up. If they come with that attitude, fired up, then I see trouble for
Olympiacos.
But the Olympiacos team I saw, they are determined.
Very good on the ball.
Yes.
Very good on the ball.
They are determined. So that's one factor that will count for them. They are determined, they are pacey.
They are young.
And they are young. And the fact that some of the players, I mean, the guy that scored the second goal, what's his name?
The Arsenal boy.
Joe
the Arsenal boy.
Yes. He has a point to prove because he has been loaned ever since Arsenal bought him. And this is a player that's trying to, I'm playing an English team, and I mean, that's where I want to go. And if he comes with that attitude again to Theatre of Dream, I think it's going to be difficult.
Boy, Julius' expectation or verdict is doom for United. What is yours?
Well, I think it all depends on how they manage what happened to them yesterday against Liverpool. Because as it is now, this is the only chance of
returning to
next season.
That is, they have to go all the way.
So I believe if it's not Moyes doing it for now, it's not Moyes that can do it for now. If the players can just score themselves together, that this is our last chance, the last opportunity for us to win something. Come on, we are Manchester United. Let us, for once, show the world that we are Manchester United. I think they can still do it, especially the Nigerian guy.
Well, viewers,
sorry, before you take, and don't forget what we pointed out. These Olympiacos are played on Friday. They already
won the title.
Now,
wow! So they have only Champions League to action. Whoa!
Is playing how many games in the space of days? So that's
well, United fans watching us, if you are watching us before the game, don't lose hope. Because, yes, history was made last season when Barcelona became the first team to lose 2-0 away from home and overturn that result on home soil in the second leg. United can also do it. Yes, Barca did it against AC Milan last season when they lost 2-0 at San Siro and came back to Camp Nou where they won 4-0. United faithful, keep the faith. You can also do it. But it's going to be hard. Now we'll come to Spain. La Liga. It was goal galore for Barcelona on Sunday. Probably a response to Real Madrid, who extended their lead by winning by the hot goal on a Saturday. El Clasico is next this weekend. For me, the biggest match on earth that particular weekend. Do you still think Barcelona could actually overhaul Real Madrid? They are 4 points adrift. Madrid are 4 points ahead of Barcelona. Barcelona are in third place. Madrid are topping the table.
Topping 70 points.
Boye, do you think the 7-0 destruction yesterday, on Sunday, sent a message ahead of the El Clasico?
It sure did. But I think at this stage of the season, it's going to be pretty difficult for Barcelona.
Okay.
To go to the
Santiago Bernabeu
to get a win against
Real Madrid.
At this stage, I think the Madrid side, they are already smelling the trophy. And I don't think they will let it go.
Okay. Julius, Tata Martinez, the vibes we get from Camp Nou is that it's going to leave at the end of the season. Is that a positive vibe, especially ahead of El Clasico?
Well, it's not a positive vibe as it were, but if you look at what has been happening in Camp
Nou, yeah.
The performance of the Barcelona team has not been stable. It has been dwindling. So perhaps.
But that was his first season. We're talking about his first season.
I would not want them to. I would not want him to leave. But you see, I think it all depends on the Barcelona players. I think who really coach Barcelona most times. I was in the room of my 12. Maybe Messi.
That's not right. That's not fair.
So it depends on the player. I think the player are the one that will make the coach and break the coach.
It was no one who even recommended the coach.
Exactly.
So we had.
So that's why I feel if he has to stay there, maybe with the Messi influence, he can still remain. But ahead of the El Clasico, I don't think it really affects. It will still be this El Clasico, which will be an interesting.
Okay, fine. Viewers, before we go, we want to acknowledge Lionel Messi, who has now become Barcelona's all-time leading scorer after his hat-trick heroic on Sunday helped him to 371 goals, beating the previous record held by Paulinho Alcantara, who scored 369 goals. We say a big ole to Lionel Messi and wish both teams, that is talking about Barca and Real Madrid, the best of luck in the El Clasico. And hopefully you are going to meet us here again when we'll be talking extensively on El Clasico on Big League Soccer before the week runs out. Julius, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Boye, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for making it up with us, for spending your time with us. I do hope you enjoyed yourself. I did. But don't forget to subscribe and post your comments to us. Whatever you say, you should be rest assured that we're going to look seriously into them and take advice from you. It's me, Kozim Ilebede. Ciao.